For the snowflake ornament, we're going to be using 3 strands of the white. Come up at the point of the snowflake and then down in that V shape. While we're here, we'll do the V, so come up at the end of one of those arms and then down where you previously went down into the fabric. And then same on the other side. And then we're going to continue with our back stitch. So skip a stitch length, come up in the bottom of that next V, and then insert your needle down into the previous hole. And this creates a back stitch. Come down in the next section, go back into your last hole, and you're going to continue this the whole way across. So at each intersection, you're going to skip a stitch length and go back into the previous stitch. Skip a stitch length, and then back down into the previous hole. This section here we're going to divide up into 2 stitches. So there's 1, and then do a second one to get to the middle, and then 2 again in that section, and go the whole way down a stitch for each section. Then once you get to the end, you can go back and add the little arms here. It's just 1 single stitch from the end to the bottom of that V. And then our next stitch is a lazy daisy. You're going to come up here at this intersection, insert your needle right back down next to where you came up, and pull it, leaving a little loop. Then come up at the end of that arm, pull it snug so your loop is tight, and then insert your needle down on the outside of the loop to secure it. And then makes a cute little petal shape. And you'll do that for these 4 little spots. That's called the lazy daisy stitch, and I have tutorials specifically for that as well. Now 1 length of thread should get you the whole way across. So I would go the whole way across a section and then do your lazy daisies. To end a section of thread, take your needle under a close by stitch and leave a loop. Then take your needle through that loop 2 times and pull it tight, and that'll create a little knot for the back of your work. Snip that, and then you can start with your new thread. We're going to start on the outer hexagon shape here, and I'm splitting this up into 3 stitches using the back stitch again. So go ahead and go the whole way around, doing a back stitch for the smaller hexagon and the larger hexagon. I'm using 3 stitches for the outer hexagon, and then I'll use 2 stitches for the inner hexagon. Now we're going to turn this into a whipped back stitch. So come up just above this line, and from top to bottom, we're working on top of the work here, slide your needle under that stitch. You're not going down through the fabric. Now same thing here with the next one, from top to bottom, make sure you go the same direction every time. Loop your needle under that last stitch, and after those 3, insert your needle back down at the corner here. You could keep going the whole way around with the whipped back stitch, but I preferred the sharp corners, so I insert my needle back down each time once I get to a corner. Then come up again and go down through each stitch, inserting your needle back down at the intersection until you've gone the whole way around. And you'll do the inner hexagon the same way, just using 2 stitches instead of 3. Now for the French knot, come up at the dot. I like to hold with my left hand, pinch my thread really tight, and then I go around the back of my tight thread with the needle, and then insert it back down right next to where you came up. Pull, keeping it tight the whole time, and slowly release it to create a knot. Sometimes this takes a little bit of practice. I have a wonky one here I'll have to redo. Bring your thread up, pinch it with the opposite hand, go around it 2 times with your needle, then insert your needle back down right next to where you came up, keeping it tight the whole time, slowly release, and that should give you a French knot. Now, after you've finished all parts of this, you can rinse this under warm water. You can gently rub it, and the paper will come off, and then just let it dry.